Hello, dear ones. I hope you guys have had an amazing week this week. It's been a long time since I've done a video and hopped on here. My attention has been on some other things that God is doing that is so exciting, and He has some really amazing things coming up this year that I'm just so excited about what He's doing, not only in my life, but in the lives of so many. I truly believe with everything inside of me that we are about to witness the greatest revival human history has ever seen. And I am so excited that we are alive in this day and hour to be a part of it and to witness that. So having said that, listen, a lot of you have been writing me about messages specifically pertaining to the subject I'm about to dive into. And I feel led to speak on it. I think it's an issue that the church shies away from because it's uncomfortable and they think it's weird. And I think we're seeing a lot of, content on questions that aren't even being asked, and that we're shying away from content because we're afraid to answer some questions that are being asked. And so I think it's important that we address the hard issues, and this is one of them. Listen, a lot of you ask me about sex before marriage. Is it wrong? Why is it wrong? What if you know you're going to marry this person, right? What if you've already done it once and now you feel like you've already crossed that boundary, and so you don't know what to do. You want God's perspective. And here's the truth. The Word of God is the standard. Bottom line, if you are a Bible-believing Christian, the Word of God is your standard. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is what it is. And so that's where we pull from. That's where we live from. That's where we breathe from. And that's how we live our life, according to the standard. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I want to read to you out of 1 Corinthians chapter 7. This is Paul speaking. He's actually replying to a letter that the Corinthians wrote him in relation to a lot of this stuff. And so I just want to pour into you what Paul has said. It is coming from Paul, but again, the Word of God is breathed straight from God. So it's God inspired, it's God breathed. So I want to read it to you about this, and this is what it says. Chapter 7, 1 Corinthians. Paul says this: "Now getting down to the questions that you asked in your letter to me, first, is it good for you to have sexual relations? Certainly, but only within a certain context. It's good for a man to have a wife and for a woman to have a husband. Sexual drives are strong, but watch, marriage is strong enough to contain them and provide for a balanced and fulfilling life in a world of sexual disorder." Interesting that he uses the word disorder, because if there's disorder, it means there has to be order. Where do we get order? From the Word of God, okay? Now, we live in a world that is full of sexual immorality. Everywhere you turn, every song you hear, every show you watch, every movie you see, every commercial that's on, you got it all over your social media accounts. It's everywhere, right? Because the devil wants you to believe that it's normal. It's what people do. You were made that way, right? It's just what we do. You were born that way. I think Lady Gaga's prophesied that over an entire generation now. You were born that way, but let me tell you what, you weren't born with a evilness desire, okay? God gave you desires because they are from God. They are good. They are pure. They are to be done with order. But here's the thing, right? When you step outside of God's order, everything in your life will be out of order. Listen, God says if you want to have sex, that's awesome. I created it. But you're going to have to get married first, okay? If you're not married, you don't get to have sex yet. You just don't, all right? That is the way it goes. Why? Because it will do more damage to you than it will to benefit you. And this is what the enemy does. He sells you every benefit of your sin, but he will never tell you the consequences of it. I had to learn the consequences of that sin. I gave myself away before marriage, and there was consequences for that, right? But I believed they're going to be my husband, right? It doesn't matter. If you're engaged, you're not married. If they're your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you're not married. God says if you want to have sex, which I created to be pure, to be beautiful, to be covenant, you must wait until marriage, because marriage is the only thing, listen to me, marriage is the only thing that will sustain it, that will sustain that and give you protection, give you covenant, give you covering in that desire. God created it, and he created it with order so that you do not hurt yourself, okay? And listen, if that's something that you struggle with, God can deliver you from that. There is nothing in your life God can't heal you from. There's no shame. There's no guilt. There's no mistake. There's no stronghold. There is nothing that you've ever done that God cannot deliver you from. But listen, you need to go to the Word of God and you need to align yourself with His Word if you want deliverance, if you want freedom from these things, from these urges, from these desires. They're not bad, but you got to know where to put them. And you got to submit and surrender those things to the Word of God if you want deliverance from them. And in His time, He will bring you the proper structure so that we can experience those things the way God intended them, okay? I love you guys so, so, so much. I'm always praying for you. I hope this gives you a little bit of clarity, okay? Love you guys. I'm always praying for you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.